Tym Moss.
Hey, Wendy Stuart, how are you?
I am well, and welcome everybody to If These Walls Could Talk.
Hey.
And we survived the blizzard. What a blizzard.
Oh my God.
Oh
Well,
my
we
God.
still got a little more snow coming. I think even
Yeah,
tonight.
well, I hope it's a little more, but things seem to change. So the night before the blizzard, right, I was at a screening with Gays Against Guns for a new documentary about them, which, by the way, is absolutely sensational, made by Paul Riley, and you're going to be seeing it because it's going to be screening everywhere. But, the screening was over, and everyone was saying, oh, my God, they're just so exaggerating all the time. And I remember turning to a bunch of people and saying, well, it could be true. And they're like, come on, we had a storm already. This is,
about the blizzard. Yeah.
We're talking about the blizzard. No way that this is going to have, I know, right? So the next day, of course, we woke up. I went to the gym, not terrible. I'm like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. I went to the gym at 3:00. And when I came out at 5:00, pardon my French, I looked around, I said, the shit's real.
Yes, exactly.
It was like so crazy. But you know what? Here we are. You're going to love this. Last night, I saw Charles Bush.
I love
Travis Moser at the Laurie Beecham wonderful show. I have to tell you, and everyone knows Charles Bush has been on this show. He did one number. It was really Travis Moser's show. That's all Charles Bush needs to do is one number. He just nailed it. And it's like, what a freaking talent.
Right. He's so well thought out, and just always, this presentation is always flawless.
Right. You know what, Tim? That is flawless. He is without a doubt a rock star. So
wonderful.
Just want to share with everybody, and you especially, Tim, I'm going to be co-hosting Laura Dunn's fundraiser at Stonewall. It's on March 15th. So if you're listening, and I'll have it all over my Facebook page. Laura and I shot a really wonderful walk and talk together to promote her campaign, just, talking about everything and anything that's going on out there, right? We all know how much I love to talk, but she's the one running. I'm the one with the opinions.
This is a fundraiser for Nora, or for
Laura Dunn. Yeah.
Laura. Okay, good.
So for those of you who don't know, there's 12 seats available in Congress. She is running for there's 12 people running one seat. It's like a bad game of musical chairs.
Yeah.
She's running for District 12. So, and her platform, of course, is LGBTQ friendly, as well as everything else. She has an amazing legal background and is really well known for working with victims. Did a tremendous TED Talk about the Me Too that was going on. So yeah, it's all good. So yeah, those are my.
I like Laura. Yeah,
we love Laura. Oh, and then Sunday night, if you can, I will be at Industry Bar performing in the disco show, an original number. I love this.
I might pop in there for a minute, but then I'm going to go see our friends over at the Iridium.
Right, who were on the show last week.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of doing this, right? Because we stream people, but there's nothing like seeing them live.
Mm-hmm.
And like hearing what they do live, hearing their music live.
Absolutely. Well, let me see. Last Saturday, I was at New York City Pride. They had an open house, and we were tabling for Project Transcend.
Great.
And which is the art project that I am co-producing. We do have an opening reception, which I'm still trying to hammer out the date on that. I'll let you know when I have all the details. I had 3 artists, and Cheryl, who's the other producer, was supposed to be. Cheryl got really sick, and all 3 artists called in sick that same day. So I was there by myself.
Dancing on your own.
It was fun. I had a good time. So that's what I was doing. Then my friend Kit Blessing had popped in and surprised me. So we went and hung out over at Stonewall for a little while and hung out with Tree Sequoia.
We love Tree Sequoia.
Right.
He's there for Stonewall, the original Stonewall. And he is I think the oldest working bartender, and I don't mean that in like a bad way. He's amazing. Oldest working bartender in New York and a member of the Imperial Court. I may add, he will be at Industry Bar also on Sunday, not working, maybe performing even.
So we decided, oh, let's go. I thought, let me just go home, and I've got like tomorrow on Sunday off. Or no, I had a party to go to, Jesse Luttrell's party.
Right.
So,
Me too. It was canceled.
I woke up and I was kind of like, oh, well, this blizzard's supposed to come, but a lot of times they don't. And I did the same thing where I was like, yeah, I don't know if it's real or not. And finally I got like, yeah, it's going to be real. So I ran out, grabbed all this food and came home, and I ended up just cooking a bunch of food. So I didn't have to bother with it for a few days.
Right.
And yeah, Jesse canceled his, because I was telling him I'll go, but
me too. I was like, why are you
back? But
they
changed it to this Saturday. So
wow. Yeah. Thank God it rescheduled.
boy,
but
did it ever snow. Wow, we did get the blizzard.
No, it did. But I was like, what? Jesse's from Pennsylvania. This is kind of wimpy. Why is he canceling? And that was at 3:00 when I went to the gym. But I ate my words at 5:00. All I was saying is, thank God he canceled.
Yeah,
thank God
right.
Thank God he canceled.
Now
I
tonight,
also have to tell you how I used my time during the blizzard. I got a plethora of auditions, and they're all taped these days, and half the time I don't have time to even do them. I taped 5 in a row and already landed a small part in a film and had to turn a part down because of a conflict I had with another job. So you know what? Listen, it all works out in the end, doesn't it?
absolutely. Now tonight, when we were also at Stonewall the other night, I ran into my friend Britta Filter, who had a drag queen that was on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
And she was telling me she's hosting a show tonight, which I'm going to be going down to at Stonewall. I think it's at 7:00, and it's a fundraiser for like the community, for the LGBT community, and just to help to try to get through everything we're getting through right now. So
and Britta, as you know,
and you can stop by Stonewall tonight. Come on down.
Oh, cool. I have another podcast, but for people that follow Britta, incredible political platform, using who she is online. We love seeing that, and we totally support Britta Filter.
Yep.
So my God, the world has become Sharky Shark, not Doggy Dog. And that's fun on
Shark. And now that's a segue.
Yeah, that was like the worst segue on the face of the earth. But y'all put up with me anyway. So I was at the Explorers Club a couple of weeks ago, and we have all different kinds of people that come to our Friday frolic. And there was this very cool guy at the bar with a bunch of very cool women around them, one of which was Natalie Cash, who's been on the show from the Wildlife Conservation Society, who I love to death. She is a member, of course, of the Explorers Club. We're all talking, and I'm like, tell me how you're connected to everyone here. And he said to me, well, I'm in charge of the sharks at the New York Aquarium. But then I started talking to him, and you know what? This is what I love. I love people that have another side. Okay, because before he was a Marine, but he is a marine biologist, but he also opened up as a rock musician for Twisted Sister. I mean, come on, that is pretty cool. I love when those two things come together at one person. So please put your hands together for Hans Walters. Come on in.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Oh, my God.
Hey, Hans. How are you?
This is so great having you here today. Thank you. You had to take off work from the aquarium today.
Yeah, I played hooky for a little while. Come into the village and hang with you guys.
You're hanging with us in the village.
Don't tell anybody.
No,
we won't tell anybody.
Hooky, as in hook, as when you go fishing, you might get a shark on your hook.
That's the hope.
That's the hope. So you're the shark whisperer. I'm going to call you that.
Yeah, well, my actual job is curator of the animal department. So the job is I take care of the people who take care of a lot of the animals. My specialty, of course, is sharks, but really I'm interested in anything that flies, swims, or walks.
I love it.
Along our coasts. But sharks are a particular interest of mine. Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, and this shark interest for you, I think you told me you started when you were a little kid. Were you born loving sharks? Like, was your first stuffed animal a shark?
Probably. No, I don't even know. I wasn't really into stuffed animals, but I I do remember I got a little golden group encyclopedia set.
Oh yeah.
I didn't. My brothers and I got them. It was like a 20-volume thing. And for reasons completely unknown, because I was like 3, I couldn't read. I pulled out the S or whatever, SI or whatever, or SA, and I opened it up. And when I got to the section on sharks, there was a picture of like different types of sharks. It was like a painting or whatever. And it had like 5 different sharks in it. And I was transfixed, and I literally never looked back.
Wow.
What was it? So I love all wildlife, but sharks don't, for me, not one way or the other. Very interested in them. What was it about the face?
I don't know. It's one of those things. Here's what I tell people, and I really don't know that it's true. Little boys like big dangerous things, right? Big trucks, fast cars, motorcycles, loose women. Actually,
yep.
That's what they like.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Snakes,
absolutely.
Sharks.
Yeah, sharks, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a visceral thing.
Yeah.
Most things that I like tend to be visceral. You can't really intellectualize it.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people, when they think of shark, they think Jaws.
Right.
Like this horrible monster that's going to eat you alive and all of that. And sharks come in all different sizes.
Oh my God, absolutely.
And
predatory, different predatory.
That's 100% correct. Thanks for bringing it up. I was one of the guys, and there's a lot of us out there, that when Jaws came out, it made us want to go back into the water.
Right.
But to your point, the white shark, well, first off, the shark in Jaws bears no resemblance to a real white shark in behavior or anything like that.
Right.
The real white shark, of course, is a lot more complex. But to your point, Tim, the white shark is sort of an outlier in the shark group.
What makes the white shark an outlier?
It's big. It's an apex predator. Look, all sharks are predators. There's no vegetarian sharks, but they feed at all levels of the food chain. Over half of all shark species grow to adult lengths of less than 3 feet.
Right.
The biggest shark, actually, the whale shark, only eats very small animals. It has thousands of teeth like all sharks do, but it doesn't bite anything. It strains small animals.
It just brings them in.
Yeah,
like a vacuum.
Like a vacuum.
Almost like a well, so is that the bit when most of us don't know all that much about sharks. We just know from Jaws, the whale shark is the biggest.
Is the biggest shark.
How big is that shark?
Usually they can be 40, 45 feet or more.
Wow.
That's a big hunking shark, Tym Moss.
I mean, for comparison, a white shark probably won't grow much more than 20 feet, which is still big, believe me.
That's still huge, but wow. Now where are the big, what was the big shark? What was that?
Whale shark.
Whale shark. Where are they?
Those are tropical animals. You find them in all the tropical oceans.
Costa Rica, and the Cocos Islands. There's a lot of whale
Caribbean, off of Cancun into and off of Central America and Northern South America, all the way up through Florida. And you can find them. There is a report, and I think there is I think it's the Vanderbilt Museum on Long Island. There is a stuffed whale shark that I believe
they found. Wow.
And there was a whale shark that was caught or harpooned or something off of Long Island in the early 20th century. Now, they're not common, of course, like this far north.
See them there.
But realize we have the Gulf Stream offshore bringing water up from the equator, right? So the water is, so you get a lot of tropical species coming up this way in the summertime.
So, okay, but you're talking about like when things were normal. I've been wanting to ask you this, and I didn't get to ask you this the other night. How, from what you've seen and what you hear, how has climate change affected the shark population in general?
Well, we don't know yet. There are, in certain areas of the world, I think that it's extended the range of certain shark species. I read a paper a couple of years ago, and I may not be quoting this right because I didn't write it and I read it 2 years ago, that climate change, warmer waters have extended the range of juvenile white sharks in the Pacific. In other words, they may feed a little farther north because they like warmer waters.
Right.
There are people on our coast that think that climate change is bringing tropical sharks further north than previously. But I push back on this a little bit because I work for a 125-plus-year-old organization, and I've got access to really old books and records that have these same sharks observed in our waters. These same sharks. Oh, we've never seen them before. Well, we've never seen them before.
Because we weren't alive then.
But these historical records have these same sharks having a range as far north as Massachusetts in the summer. But we're seeing them now. Everybody says, oh, there's so many sharks. Look, 10, 15 years ago, we didn't have drones. Now you can buy a drone, and we can we can see things where I used to need an airplane or a helicopter to see this.
Right. So you're thinking the technology more is making, but they are saying there's been more, and you can correct me on this, shark sightings. And what about the shark attacks? I mean, I read all this stuff.
Again,
tell us what you know.
More shark sightings are because we've got the technology to
what
see
about the shark attacks?
Well, we get to that. Yeah. Well, the other things, here's the other thing. If you look for something, you're going to find it. Right? Nobody's looking for sharks 10, 15 years ago.
Tim wants to get a drone and go out and look for sharks this summer, he told me.
The Parks Department's already on that. So, but in any event, no. Look, in the last 5 years, there have been what we would consider an unusual spike in what we like to refer to as human shark interactions. And I think it's critical. I think they're referred to as attacks. What is an attack? An attack is when one being makes a motivated aggression against another being. That's an attack.
That's an attack.
If I run into you on the street, that's not an attack. Right?
If you bite Tim's arm off, though, that's an attack.
If I run into Tim and bite him,
that would be an attack.
Yeah, that's an attack. Tim, don't worry. I have no desire to do that.
Good.
I like you.
Good. I feel safe now. He's in a safe space.
It's a bite-free zone.
And look, occasionally that does happen. For my money, and take it from the guy, take it for what it's worth, is what I'm saying. But I've spent the last 30 plus years working with sharks at the New York Aquarium. So I see them every day. I see them eat. I see how they eat. We dive with our sharks to keep their habitats clean, keep them healthy. And we also do field work out right in the ocean here, studying the habitat use and the behavior of our local sharks. And for the most part, the sharks in our waters that come up here when we're using the beach are fish eaters. And so, yes, people have been injured. And yes, 1 year, I think they had 8. And then another year they had 4. And then 1 year they had none. And then last year they had 1. So it's not increasing every year. But that one where we had 8 in 1 year and 4 in another, that was a really unusual situation because in the last 5 or 6 years, it doubled the historical number of interactions, because in the 100 years prior to that, we'd had 12 and now we've had 13. But now think about it though, put it in the perspective. How many people go to the beach on any given good beach day? Tens of thousands.
Oh, so you're
how many beaches? How many beaches do we have in New York? Common through Staten Island. You have a lot. And how many good beach days are there? Start in Memorial Day and go through Labor Day. And then think about 8 in a summer. And then think about how many people, one, lose their lives to riptides every year.
Yeah, a
Every
lot
year
of
drown.
tides, right?
How many people get in car accidents on the way to and from the beach?
Yeah.
I think interactions with sharks pale. The other thing I really feel like I need to say is no one ever saw a shark before or after or during when any of these people got hurt. We know from the injuries, which for the most part are relatively minor, and I'm not.
Well,
I'm not,
hold
I'm
up,
not,
It's like, come on, losing an arm or a leg is like it's not minor.
Did anybody lose an arm or a leg?
They're
in New
having
York?
okay.
In
So
New
you're
York.
talking New York specific,
Yeah, I'm talking,
right?
I can't speak about anywhere else.
But you know, Australia though has got totally different statistics.
Well, I'm not talking about Australia.
Okay, we're talking
Now,
about.
but I see what you mean. That there
Well,
that
you know,
yeah,
injuries
from New York.
injuries from a shark bite are relatively small in this area.
And I want to be very clear about something. This is not. I'm not demeaning the horror and the fear of someone getting injured at the beach. That is a horrible thing, and I'm not defending the sharks except for to say that this is a very rare thing. And in our waters in New York, and I'm going somewhere with this, so please bear with me.
We're on the ride.
Most people are going to the hospital, but for the most part, with few exceptions, people are walking away from these. And they need stitches. You're going to have a scar. I'm hoping the scar fades and you have a great story, but I don't know. I don't know these people.
Okay,
But here's the thing. What no one has seen this, but what every person that's been injured has seen, there have been a lot of bait fish in the water. So
they're doing this.
I'm going somewhere with this, and I'm trying to sort of when there are bait fish in the water, like the Atlantic menhaden is the basis of our local food chain. You know what I mean? It is that humans use it for pet food and fertilizer, but everything up here eats it. Bluefish eat it, striped bass eat it, seals eat it, whales eat it, dolphins eat it, sharks eat it, right?
Of course.
So when you've got,
everything eats those.
When you've got a school of bait fish, school of menhaden close to shore, chances are the sharks are going to come to feed.
Absolutely.
And most of these injuries are folks like us going into the water and getting in the way. Either the shark was committed and we inadvertently
got in the way. That is a good point. That is a good point.
It's not the person's fault. It's not the shark's fault.
Right. It's the situation.
It's not that the shark was going looking for the person.
And the reason I'm saying this, I think that's an important distinction.
I agree.
And there is such a thing. There is such a thing in the world, in other areas of the world, where there are shark attacks. There are. It's not like they don't happen.
Yeah.
But they are the attack where the shark went for the person either purposely or I thought it was something else, and they get injured. That happens. But when you think to yourself, every year worldwide, there are usually and almost always less than 70 attacks in a year.
In the world.
70 injuries in a year. Injuries. Because most of those occur in a situation like what I'm talking about
with bait.
Most of those happen in those scenarios. Not all of them, because some people have gotten severely injured, lost their lives. It's an awful thing. The other side of this, and then we can probably talk about something else.
This is Pat. First of all, you're so.
No, I need you to move in a little.
Come a little bit over this way. You're so passionate about this, and again, hearing it explained like this, right? You're putting everything in perspective because everything we read, the shark is the bad guy.
Well,
Two things is if one is. Humans are going into their habitat. Right. We are the ones that are invading their world. Right. That's one thing. And number two is if there is a bad attack or a bad encounter, that's good for the news. What's going to hit the news cycle is something bloody and something horrible. That's what that affects people's thinking of our relationship with these fish.
It does. And, the other thing is when there are no boundaries in the ocean, right? Like land animals are geographically restricted. You know what I mean? Tigers are restricted to areas of Asia, India, places like that. Lions are restricted to Africa. Bears are restricted to certain areas of our country, but there's still wilderness areas. When you go into a wilderness area, you need to be aware that there are wildlife there. And
Absolutely.
so the ocean, unfortunately, there are no boundaries, and sharks don't see state, local. There are sharks that can travel between England and here.
They just do what they do, which is swim.
They're just being sharks,
and so we have to remember that we are going into a wilderness. I will say this: I think that if people are worried about this, and I understand, I'll tell you what I do when I go to the beach. I like going into the water with sharks, but I don't want to go in with the ones I can't see that can't see me.
Right.
So,
you're smart, Hans. I knew it.
So
smart.
What I do when I go to the beach and I decide to go in the water, one of the things I do, and I'm sharing this with as many people as I can, is I look out on the water. And if you see, I know there's wave action and there's wind action.
The fin.
But you see not the fin.
It's at the fin.
You see the rippling of the water that's not caused by the wind. You see
an area where it's rippling.
It's bait fish up at the surface of the water.
Okay.
Right?
Steer clear of that area.
Ask yourself, why are those bait fish up at the surface?
Right.
And the answer is likely there's a predator underneath.
Right.
It might be a dolphin. Dolphins come up for air. Might be a bluefish. Might be a shark. Well, the might be a shark says to me, I'm going to sit on the beach a little while longer until
the rippling subsides.
Up the beach.
Right.
Well, now that's taking control of the situation.
Well, I'm trying to share this.
No, this is very helpful.
Great.
I would be sitting on the beach, and what you just shared would mean nothing to me. And now when I go to the beach, I am going to look for that. I would never normally. Most people, right, Tim? When you're in the Fire Island Pines or Cherry Grove, do you look at the water to see if it's rippling? Where do you look?
Usually at the men.
But all kidding aside, most people that is, and I absolutely get it. Right, of course.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. Great advice.
And here's the other thing too. I just want to share it with everybody. Well, what good is a shark? They bite people. A shark's job is to keep ocean populations healthy by rooting out the sick and otherwise unfit. So they're going for the slowest, the stupidest, the oldest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's their job. And when you remove that from the equation, you end up with unhealthy fish populations. There is an increasing amount of evidence that habitats where there are sharks are healthier marine environments for all animals.
Right.
They're
a very important part of that ecosystem.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Correct.
Right.
Now, one other question that probably most people don't know, myself included, exactly how many different species of sharks are there?
I've lost count, but it's something like 500. And
oh my God. I was going to say like 200.
Wow.
100.
It's like 500 because more are discovered every year. They also, with genetics, they're splitting things that you say, oh, it's all the same thing. Meanwhile, no, this is a different species, even though it looks like another. So there are about 500 or so species of sharks, about 500 or so species of stingrays that are closely related to sharks. And so, it's a big group of animals. And,
the stingrays, by the way, I've swam with them in the Grand Caymans. Okay, this is true story. There was an injured stingray that my guide had brought back to health. Her name was Dolly or something like that. We went out and the stingrays were coming and he's like, no, she's not here yet. She's got 2 scars on her right. What do you call that? Flipper? No,
pectoral.
Pectoral.
Her wing.
Her wing.
All of a sudden, she came from afar. He's like, there she is. I'm like, they all look alike to me. I'm sorry. Don't hate me for that. But they do. She came up. I will never forget this and put her things around his neck. And there we were. This true story for the next hour. We were there. I mean, the entire I had no idea.
Well, which brings me back to the aquarium. Thank you for sharing that because
I had no idea.
I work with a team of 10 aquarists
Aquarius. I like
Yeah,
that.
they're also trainers.
Yeah.
So because we work with really big animals, we've individualized all the sharks, all the stingrays, and all the larger sort of non-schooling fish, the ones that like live alone. And all of them are trained to work with us to help us give them the best of care. So our sharks are all trained to come to various feeding stations. The sand titan sharks eat over here. The nurse sharks eat over here. The sandbar sharks eat over here. And I will tell you, we learn every day that these guys are willing to work with their caregivers.
Right.
You know, we've trained them. Okay, guys, you got to swim from here over to here. We've trained them to participate with us in their medical workups because we have veterinarians on staff.
I was going to ask, how do you do all of that? So share some of that. The aquarists that work with me, a number of us came from working with marine mammals. So the same thing you do when you're training a dolphin or a sea lion or a seal or a dog or a walrus. We did all that. We just moved that same mindset over to sharks. You know, you can train any animal to do anything that they're physically capable of doing. Like you can't train an elephant or a walrus to jump because they're physically incapable of doing that.
Right.
Anything else you can train them to do. And you just need to have patience and you need to take baby steps. It's called operant conditioning with positive reinforcement.
Right.
You don't use punishment.
Right.
You don't use food deprivation. And you just have to be really, really, really patient.
Are there sharks?
Any sentient creature, basically.
Any sentient creature.
Absolutely.
Are there sharks that would now you've swam with them in the aquarium, right?
Yeah, we do it all.
Do they recognize, or do you have ones that recognize you? Is there recognition like octopus?
Yeah.
You know, we also what was the film about the octopus? That they're intelligent. What do you think about sharks' ability to recognize you?
You know,
like they're like, hey, Hans, how's it going today?
I think when we're underwater and we're in scuba gear, they don't recognize us.
Oh, that's true.
I don't always know about the sharks. Sometimes I think certain ones do. I will tell you for a fact, though, that some of the stingrays
I told you my story,
recognized individuals.
Unbelievable.
And here's the craziest part of that. A stingray biologically, right? Their eyes on the top of their head, their mouth is on the bottom.
Right.
They swim around on the bottom looking for things buried in the sand. So they don't use their eyes to find the little things they eat. What do they use their eyes for? Look for predators. What are the predators of stingrays? Sharks.
Right.
They're designed
to
look up and to look in the water. Like their eyes
that's how they've evolved to look like that. They've had to do that. And
just like when we stick our face underwater and you open your eyes designed to see in air, everything looks blurry. I wonder when we bring the rays up to the surface and we're hand feeding them, how good can their eyes be when their eyes are out of the water?
Right.
But we had a stingray that had preferences for who would feed her. Her name was Ray Charles. She was a huge rough-nosed stingray.
I love it.
You know, we had a veterinarian who Ray Charles was bitten by a sea turtle. And the sea turtle broke a chunk of her tail. So our veterinarian had to surgically remove the tail and sew the thing, the
limb.
Yeah. And after that, even though we needed to do it, she didn't blame any of us. But every time the veterinarian would show up just to check on her, the Ray would turn her back.
She's out of there.
The Ray would be all happy and excited.
And then she'd see, it's her.
Yeah, literally.
You're not touching me again.
and even if, there were days when Ray Charles could take or leave me. The day that I was lucky that she decided I was fine to work with is all the people that were supposed to be feeding him were gone.
And you were the only game in town.
And we had a film crew come in, and I'm like, this is not going to go well. Give me the middle peck.
Right.
Fortunately, I don't know. Either she knew the camera was on and said, I'm going to do you a solid.
Yeah, and you owe me. You owe me.
But what I said, how does she know the difference between me and the other people with eyes that are supposed to be Anyway.
Yeah, but I told you that story
Absolutely.
about Dexter
Our
and the
guest-
water, and this
I
is
know.
a true story. I was there. There were
Our-
stories everywhere.
But
They recognized.
in the water,
Right.
Dexter, you smell,
Right.
taste,
Right.
electroreception. When you're out of the water, all she's got is her eyes.
Right.
Anyway.
Our guest today is Hans
Yes.
Walters, the animal department.
Yes.
As the animal department curator at the New York Aquarium and field scientist with the Wildlife Conservation Society's New York Seascape program.
Yes.
And so we have a video of that. So I'd like to show the video
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is so great. We're muted. Well, I could go on for hours. This is great. It's so informative.
No, we're not muted.
Welcome to Coney Island, Brooklyn, home of the New York Aquarium. I'm Hans Walters, shark biologist and field researcher, and we're going to take a walk through our new Ocean Wonders Sharks exhibit and talk about these unique, incredible predators and their role in marine ecosystems. Here at the aquarium, our events, educational programs, exhibits, and local conservation science all work together to inspire people to protect aquatic wildlife around the world, with a special emphasis on the incredible habitats and animals right off the coast of New York. In this exhibit, you'll get up close to a diverse group of sharks and rays, learn about their importance to marine ecosystems, the threats that they face, and what you can do to protect them. Let's get started. Now, this is the kind of environment many people may think of when they think of places where sharks and rays live. This immersive 40-foot tunnel features a visually rich Indo-Pacific coral reef ecosystem with a number of Pacific reef fishes and several species of sharks. We have a zebra shark, we have several blacktip reef sharks, and we have some smaller sharks with which you may not be quite as familiar, such as bamboo sharks and wobbegong sharks. Now, what these sharks lack in size, they make up for in smarts. Our keepers train them in all the skills we need them to learn to provide them with the best of care. Now, we feed and train our wobegongs on Wednesdays. We call it Wobie Wednesdays. And it looks like a training session is just about to start. All sharks and rays in Ocean Wonders are target trained, which helps us establish feeding stations and focus the animal's attention on the tasks at hand. Some of these sharks are also stretcher trained, which facilitates routine medical exams and moves to new habitats. While having multiple species in the stretcher at the same time is, well, not ideal or the ultimate goal, it shows how comfortable they are in this situation. Keepers also work with them to desensitize the animals to touch, so they can monitor the health and well-being of each individual. Sharks are a key part of the marine diversity that keeps ocean ecosystems healthy. But you may be surprised to learn that 26 species of sharks and numerous species of rays swim through our local waters adjacent to this most urban of jungles through various points of the year. This gallery represents a ecologically diverse but surprisingly little known marine ecosystem right off our shores.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
So Hans just shared that there are actually 27 species.
Yeah.
Who's the 27th?
The 27th is the spinner shark. And I'll tell you why. That's one of the ones that everyone says, oh, they've never been up here before. Well, so we had identified, the way we got this number is WCS went through 400 years of the use of New York waters, meaning for seafood, for travel, for everything, and collected every observation noted of observations of sharks. And we came up with 26 species, and one of them was the blacktip shark. Well, the spinner shark looks very, very much like a blacktip shark. But the difference is when they're hunting, they spin through the water up through a school of fish and will also often clear the water. And my surfer buddies were telling me, dude, I'm seeing sharks jump around. It's like, oh, spinner sharks. And people were started catching them. You know, fishermen were catching them. So once you have it in hand, you can tell the difference easily between a spinner shark and a blacktip shark. When you look at these old writings, these old journals that I have that say, oh, these things have been up here, they were doubtful back in the 1940s, that spinner sharks came this far north, but they qualified that it's very hard to tell a spinner shark from a blacktip shark unless you have them in hand. So that one is a bit of an outlier. I don't know if that's new to our waters or it's just now we've cottoned on to.
Right.
It's not just one species coming up here because they have a lot of the same temperature preferences. They travel together. But that could be a newbie. But I'm not convinced of that. I think maybe they've been up here too.
Well, I'm wondering if you and I might have met before, because I was out in Coney Island one time, and it was during the off season. Like I would go out. I don't go out between Memorial Day and Labor Day. It's just way too packed. So when the kids are still in school, like in June, I'll go out and take a day and hang on the beach. And I had just come up out of the water, and there was a younger kid that was like screaming off to the side. And so I went running over. I was like, are you okay? What's going on? And he goes, yeah. He goes, there's a fish right there. There's a shark right there. And one had come up. It was dead, but it was maybe about 3 feet, 2.5 to 3 feet. And I thought, oh, that might be a baby shark or something. So I thought, oh my God, we've got the aquarium right here. So I ran over and got somebody. They said they'd send somebody over. I didn't know if that was you. That might've been you that came over.
It is likely me, and if it wasn't, Tim, you look.
A close encounter of a shark kind.
Listen,
I love it.
But it was a sand shark. It was a sand shark. Yeah.
When I was watching the video with
Natalie,
I'm like, Tim looks familiar. Now,
okay.
I swear I never forget a face.
I love this story. How cool!
So now I'm thinking the name Hands, because I remembered, that yes. Okay, it's all coming together.
That was the year the new shark exhibit that y'all just watched in the video was up, right?
Yes, right,
At the same time, they started having those little sharks wash up. People call them sand sharks. They also call them smooth dogfish. Both names are incorrect.
They're incorrect.
Because sand shark is basically a colloquial term. What we call sand shark is different what people in the Carolinas call sand shark, which is different than what people in Louisiana call sand shark.
Oh, okay.
Smooth dogfish is incorrect because that little shark is not a dogfish. A dogfish is a totally different group of sharks. The proper term for that little shark is dusky smoothhound.
Oh, there you go, Tim. You saw dusky smoothhound.
The reason this is significant, and I'm sorry to be a shark nerd.
No, this is great.
I love
Dusky smoothhound is the most common shark in New York waters. That is what you're going to see in Coney Island or along any beach.
Right. That's what you had said that day. It was a very common shark. I got jaws. About 3 or 4 feet long total. It's the biggest they get.
Wow. They're cute little sharks.
Their teeth are like little cobblestones. Like, so if they wouldn't even bite you, but you stick your hand in their mouth, it's like this. They're gummy sharks.
Gummy sharks.
Like gummy worms.
But like not gummy sharks like you eat them, but like they're gummy.
They gum you because the teeth are not sharp at all.
And the reason I'm glad you brought it up is one of the things, one of my keepers this past summer, she moved close by the aquarium and she would walk along, shark trainer would walk along the boardwalk on her way home. And she was seeing these people catching these dusky smoothhounds. And when they would catch them, they go, oh, there's a shark. There's a baby shark. I'm going to kill it so it doesn't grow up and be a big shark. and they would either throw it on the beach to die, or they beat it over the
You
head.
have to educate them.
Well, that's what my keeper did. Haley Grisales, one of my newer keepers, young, like 24 years old. So she did it the right way. Like if I'd have walked up there at my age, get away from me. But she walked up there, a young woman says, hey, can I show you something about those sharks? Can I I want to help you. I'm going to help you take that shark off the hook. And Haley would carefully pull the shark off the hook and let the shark go. And she would say, this shark, look, doesn't have teeth that can bite you.
Right.
It's common. It's completely harmless. You're not catching. A lot of people believe too, when they keep catching these sharks, they're relatively calm. I'm catching the same one again and again. They're stupid. They just, trust me.
It's all different.
No, you get a hook in your mouth. You're not going to eat for a few days.
Yeah, right.
So you're not coming back for more.
No, you're not coming back. You're hightailing it out of there. Anyway, so she ended up getting there's a collective of fishermen on the Coney Island pier that adopted my keeper Haley and actually had her teach them all about the shark.
That's a beautiful story. That's such a beautiful story.
And now they're teaching the other fishermen.
Right.
Good.
The aquarium. We gave them a tour. And so they are now, community scientists saying, hey, look out for these.
That's
we're going to be doing this in the coming beach season. We're going to be going out to different piers and sending people that aren't me, like the old white guy going, hey, you know what? We're going to be sending people that might get a little better reception and try and sort of say, hey, sharks need love too.
Right. What a great way to educate people,
Absolutely.
Citizen science. So, we have another side to Hans. It's like,
he's got like a side hustle.
For you, but I'd like to show the video of your newest album. Okay. And the group is called Hazel Gaze. And you have appeared at Barry Electric, probably a ton of places I've gone to.
Barry Electric, Bitter End, Arlene's Grocery.
I figured all of those.
We did the cutting room too, which was a lot of fun. We were out of our game there, but it was a great gig, and they treated us like royalty. They were great. Love the cutting room.
I love the cutting room too. And let's take a look at the video.
I'm trying to think of how you're not only on the rocks of Coney Island, but you also rock out on stage.
Right, he rocks out. Right. I like that.
Come on down to the Black Soul River where the water runs so deep. Cleanse my heart in the midnight sun, Lord, my soul to keep. Lord, have mercy, cast away my sins. Water rain up on my head, free from Satan's grip.
Commitments of salvation, free of all black deeds. Redemption is at hand, and I shall be received. Rise on up, the truth to set you free. All this can be yours, all for one small fee.
Stand around! Wipe the tears upon your face, raise your hands up high. The faithful drop down to their knees, release a subtle cry. Blood boils over under pale moonlight. Black water purge the pain away, and everything's gonna be alright. Come on down to the Black Soul River where the water runs so deep. Cleanse my heart in the midnight sun, Lord, my soul to keep. Lord, have mercy and cast away my sins. Water rain upon my head, free of Satan's grip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. You were called a force to be reckoned with on the indie rock scene.
Oh
I
my
love
God,
that
boy.
you have this other side to you. How do you juggle both things?
Well, and I spent the 80s really wanting to make a living in the music business. And I guess that was the backup plan, which is probably why it didn't happen for me. I was in a great band called Z Toys. We had a video on MTV.
You opened for Twisted Sister.
Well, not quite. We knew Dee Snider.
Okay.
The true story behind that
Yeah,
is we were recording a demo searching for a record deal, recording a demo at Atlantic Recording Studios with the band Poison's producer, a guy named Rick Browdy. In the next studio over, Dee Snider was recording what became the last studio Twisted Sister album, Love Is for Suckers. And so we met in there was that common area between the two studios. It wasn't just me. My band struck up a friendship with him. And it remains to this day. He came to the aquarium. He came to the aquarium many years ago. No, we got to be pretty good friends. And then in the early 2000s, he had this awesome Halloween metal orchestra called Van Helsing's Curse.
Oh,
what a great name!
I got hired with 5 other vocalists to be vocalists in Helsing's choir. We were undead druids chanting in faux Latin over this metal.
Okay,
and he had a rock band. He had a rock band, and he had a heavy metal violinist. Look up Van Helsing's Curse, man. It was an awesome spectacle. And we did
the Undead Druids.
We were Undead Druids. That one of my other sort of unfulfilled dreams, I always wanted to be a monster in a horror movie. I guess there's still time for that.
There's still time for it.
Because if anybody needs a monster or some evil,
hell yes.
I'm available.
Actually, I'm writing a script right now about a creature. I'll keep you in mind.
There you go.
There you go. I gotta go. Yeah. Anyway, but it was on a tour bus going between Philadelphia and Long Island and Detroit. We went out to LA. We went to Vegas. It was wow stuff, man. It was a lot of fun. So that's how I know Dee and some of the other guys in Twisted. That was a great.
Well, I just want to point out that in the video, part of it was filmed at the Bitter End, the legendary Bitter End down on Bleecker Street. That's amazing.
I love the Bitter End
space. But you've got such a classic rock sound and
voice, right?
That voice, right? Who were some of your inspirations?
Well, I'll tell you where it went. I'm old enough to where I started high school in 1974. So that early, where the blues rock of Cream and Hendrix.
Yeah, that Cream. That's what I was making me think of.
It gave way to a heavier sound.
Yeah, right.
Bad Company, Free, Humble Pie, Led Zeppelin, Nazareth.
Love.
And back then it wasn't music was not as available. So you worshipped those audiences. Yeah. All right. So when I went to high school, I went to an all-boys Catholic Jesuit high school.
I knew you. I figured you were going to say a Catholic school.
by choice, because I was living in the Midwest and really wanted to make sure I was going to get out and go back to. I'm originally from New Orleans, and I always felt landlocked in the Midwest. I was in St. Louis. St. Louis is a great town, but it wasn't for me. I was landlocked.
Right. There's no water. You need the water.
But you're sharks.
But what was awesome was the music scene.
Oh.
And one night, well, first off, in high school, in order to meet girls, because I didn't care about being a musician except to meet girls. But the
great
best
way to meet women
girls was to get in the plays. And my high school, the all-boys high school, did mostly musicals, and they would bring in girls to do the female roles. So
you had them imported.
So we had them imported.
I love it.
But the problem was when you're an egomaniac is that when you have a top tenor voice, you're going to be stuck in the singing chorus.
Oh,
so I was in the singing chorus. I was in the men's chorus in school. I did barbershop quartet. Well, one night on a Saturday night, I was home watching, maybe you guys remember this show, Don Kirshner's Rock Concert.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah.
They showed the opening concert sequence from Led Zeppelin's Song Remains the Same. And there's this, meanwhile, I'm this scrawny blonde dude who was non-athletic, pale. And what do I see on camera? This scrawny blonde dude.
That's who they were. They were all scrawny.
Side,
like,
with his microphone doing this. And I'm like,
that's me.
that, because I had no role models.
Right.
Yeah,
right. The role models were the athletes. The role models were like Broadway stars with deep, baritone, manly voice.
Right.
But
you mean the whole you've got the whole gravelly thing going on. I mean, that video is like, I know that sound.
Because I said that's what I want to do. So I cut my teeth doing Led Zeppelin, Nazareth, Humble Pie, Aerosmith.
Did you do any Journey?
No.
Okay.
But he's not on range
for it. You got the range.
I have to tell you, I was a big fan of the early Journey albums. And then they got really, really poppy. Before Journey was the one that everybody recognizes, they were more of a rock band, just like the band REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, I love REO Speedwagon.
But they were known in the 80s for ballads. But
that's me in the background. That's me in the I love that. I love
but
that
in
song.
the 70s, they lived right across the Mississippi River in Illinois.
Wow.
That's where they were from. They were a hard rock band, like hard rock.
Yeah.
And all of those bands used to come through St. Louis. So I was seeing all the hard rockers.
Wow,
Sammy Hagar, who was
all of them, right?
Sammy Hagar, everybody knows from Van Halen. He had 3 careers before that. Anyway, so Paul Rogers was my God, the guy from Free and Bad Company, right? That guy had a rocking voice. And so I patterned myself. Rod Stewart, yes. All these gravelly voice singers.
Yes.
Yeah, you turned yourself into that. You're like amazing.
Well, the downside is that's now the way I have to sing. Like I'm not.
You also speak that way.
Yeah,
though.
I do.
It's like
But if in other words, I was asked to join a genre band, like an 80s genre band. They were doing everything from Michael Jackson and Billy Idol to Cyndi Lauper and Pat Benatar. And so I auditioned for the band and I looked at their set list and they had AC/DC and they had the Scorpions. And I'm like, I'm in.
How amazing.
And they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to do Rock You Like a Hurricane. No, the girl does that. I'm like, what? And they said, I said, okay, then let's do what was the other one I just mentioned?
Scorpions.
Scorpions.
Yeah.
No, but then an AC/DC.
AC/DC.
Let's do Back in Black. Oh no, you shook me all night long. Oh, we got a girl for that. I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, what the hell do you want me to sing? They said, well, there's Michael Jackson and there's Billy Idol. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to go.
You're not that voice.
Billy Idol is awesome.
He is, but you're not that voice.
I could never be that.
Right.
And Billy Idol is still rocking it.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I could never be that. So and I remember sitting after that audition going, I am not your guy, because I would sing all the girls' parts. You need a girl for those, that's fine. He goes, you are that guy. I'd worked with this guy many times before. He goes, if I'm doing any of that gravelly voice stuff in the 70s or like Guns N' Roses from the 80s,
that's it.
You are that guy.
That's
the guy we're going to call.
Yeah.
So you need to find a guy that needs that guy.
Yeah.
And that guy now is Russ Soper, the chief songwriter, guitar player, engineer of Hazel Gaze.
Okay. All right.
Which is so perfect. Yeah. Do you have any upcoming performances that you know of at this point?
No, we're sort of in the middle right now.
Can't we get you back at Bowery Electric? I do go there.
Bowery
Electric, same here.
Sadly, Jesse Mallon converted Bowery Electric into a theater space.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It no longer is a rock venue. That ended at the end of January, beginning of February. He's doing a show there that I'm actually interested in seeing. But yes, it is no longer a rock venue, but we still have the Bitter End that we'll probably do at some point.
You gotta let us know.
Grocery,
absolutely,
places like that. What we're doing, we are releasing very soon last year in July, we did a live album at the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music.
Well, I saw that. That's amazing.
And we got a four-piece string section, classical string section.
Nice.
Come in, and we did unplugged selections from our 2 albums, Hazel Gaze 1, Hazel Gaze 2. And so we'll be releasing a video concert and a full album concert live. It's called Hazel Gaze Strung Out Live and Unplugged in New York City.
I love it.
Yes, yes.
And so you'll be seeing bits and pieces of that. And we're starting work on a 4th album. We're writing now, and we're going to be recording a 4th album.
Nice.
We're busy.
Nice.
You know, everybody's got
Other
day
jobs, right?
Yeah,
day jobs.
But you have the best day job.
Yeah, I love my day. I wouldn't call my day
exactly.
job.
Yeah, you had the best day job. We have some comments too. Let's see who tuned in today. Thank you, everybody, by the way, who wrote a comment. Hello, my dear Diva and Grand Duke. Looking forward to seeing and hearing the Oceanic rock star. I love that. That's Rose Trentman. Wildlife Conservation Society, Natalie. Yes.
Who that is.
Yep. Rose, people caretaker of the people who take care of the sharks. Yes, and Rose, I wore your earrings today that you gave me. Whale shark, of course, is her favorite, and so big and so gentle. They're so beautiful, right? And let me see, who else do we have on there?
Benji Bradshaw, our buddy, says 500 sharks. What?
Yeah.
Amazing singer, Benji Bradshaw.
Yes.
That's really cool. Cool.
Wildlife Conservation Society says each one teach one.
I love that. Rose said he will make a lovable monster.
Yeah, that's not where I'm going for, but if that's what's needed.
I love our Rose. You would make a lovable monster. I just, as we bring the show to a close, I just have to jump in here. The night I met Hans, very pretty woman with him. There was a group of fun people. Very pretty woman, didn't talk. I mean, she was talking, but casual, because we were all talking about Hans, right? Turns out that his other half, Martha, I go and I look at old posts from years ago. There's Miss Martha with a baby walrus, or was it a full-grown walrus?
Probably both.
Right, feeding it a bottle. Okay, Tim, didn't you want that to be you? I wanted to be the one feeding the bottle to this gorgeous creature, and then I come and find out that she is a wildlife behaviorist as well, and probably has a million stories to tell.
She does. I married my dream girl.
I love it.
That's great.
Right? And living happily ever after. You're both on the same page.
You guys should definitely talk to her. She's got 37 years of stories of working with dolphins and beluga whales and seals.
I love this stuff.
Lions.
Absolutely.
And she taught me and the other folks that I started working with, she taught us everything we learned about animal training, and really paved the way for us to take that over to where the sharks are.
Wow.
So
Wow. So a shout out to Martha today. Yeah. And thumbs up.
Hans Walters, thank you so very much for everything you do, from the working with the animals and the sea creatures to entertaining people on stage. Just amazing.
Well, this was one of the most fun interviews I've ever done.
We love that.
This is a blast.
And you know what? I got to tell you, for us to,
Likewise.
Tim and I are constantly, we're out of the box here on If These Walls Could Talk. There is not a show that is like this one, so varied, and really speaks to who we are.
Yep.
We have no walls, no boundaries.
Yep.
Also, Wendy and I both love animals and the sea, as well as music. So hey, you scored twice with us.
Yeah, but you can't lose with us, right?
Tim, when you're back on Coney Island, bang on the door of the aquarium. I'd love to.
Okay.
Well, and before we say goodbye, I was actually going to suggest: is it possible they'd take Tim and I on a behind-the-scenes tour?
Why not? Sure, for you guys.
And
everybody that's listening, come visit the aquarium.
Yes.
It's a wonderful place.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've been at the aquarium itself for 33 or 34 years.
Wow.
4 years now. And I was at the Bronx Zoo before that. The Wildlife Conservation Society is a great place to work. They run 4 zoos and an aquarium in New York City, and over 300 field conservation projects in over 50 countries around the world.
Amazing, right?
They really, please support them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.